I was thinking about this, right? A lot of us have friends, family members, frenemies, whatever you want to call it, coworkers that are really quiet, and sometimes it doesn't bother us. Sometimes we're just a little bit curious or anxious or nervous, or you just want to know what's going on in their mind, just out of pure curiosity. No bias, no insinuating anything, just out of pure curiosity. You want to know what's going on in their mind, right? And you say something like a penny for your thoughts. I don't know if people even say that anymore. Or you just randomly say, hey, you're quiet, what's going on, what's on your mind? Care to talk about it? Care to express how you're feeling? Be prepared for whatever comes out of their mind, because now you've given this green light for them to express themselves. The last thing you're going to do, or the last thing that you should do, is try and shut them down or cut them off or tell them why it's wrong. Let them express themselves. A lot of people carry so much inside, and sometimes it's not even by choice. Sometimes you just don't have anyone to talk to. And here you are giving them a chance to talk to you, and you want to shut them down and tell them what's on their mind is wrong. But that's what's on their mind, and that's why it stayed in their mind. Some people have really dark minds, and you just rather not know what is on their mind. And I'm sure you've been in a situation before where you asked someone what they're thinking, and they told you, and you're like, damn, I wish I never asked. But you did, and it's okay. I say it's okay to everything. I mean, even when it's not. So all I'm saying is that when you cross into someone's territory, because our minds are our territories, it's the only thing that we have to ourselves, right? When you cross into someone's territory, be prepared for whatever the outcome is, especially if they've allowed you to come into their territory because you asked nicely for permission to, my hands are ashy, to come into their world. So that's one thing. And then another thing is don't be surprised what comes out of their mouth. Clearly there was a reason they weren't expressing themselves in the first place. But now that you've given them the green light to express themselves, let them express themselves. I worked in a call center for the longest time ever, and I heard all kinds of stories, and sometimes they were even unsolicited. I never asked the individual. They just poured their life out to me. People like to talk. Some, not everyone. People find solace and comfort in just talking sometimes. It's a form of therapy for them to just express themselves, to express what's on their mind. So let people vent sometimes if that's what it takes. You never know whose life you're saving by giving them 5 minutes of attention and hearing them out, by giving them 5 minutes of your time and just hearing them out and not saying anything. You don't always have to have the answers to everything. Not everyone's a therapist, not everyone's a shrink, not everyone's a psychologist, not everyone's is even good in just giving random basic advice. Sometimes the best form of support is just being there and listening to what someone has to say. And even as bizarre as the things that might come out of their mouth may be, the whole fact that you sat around and heard them out and had you didn't have anything to say back to them, and you just let them express themselves, that goes a long way for them. They will appreciate you. And you don't even know. You're doing an act of service right there. You're being a real friend, or if they're a complete stranger, you're being a good person. And you don't even realize that you've made this person stay. I'll leave you with a short story. I remember one time this Uber driver picked me up. He was from Bosnia or one of the Eastern European countries that I'm not too familiar with, from what I remember. And I got in his car and I sat at the back, and I was on my phone. He was like, everyone's always on their phones. I think he was having a bad day, honestly. Everyone's always on their phones. I don't understand people. Everyone's always on their phones. He's driving and just saying this. So I put my phone down, and I was like, let me hear him out. I'm like, yeah, you know what, you're right. Phones have become an addiction for many people. It helps us distract ourselves with whatever's going on in our lives. It's a good form of distraction. It is addictive. Social media is addictive. He's not lying. Everyone's always on their phones. I don't know why it bothered him, but it did. So I put my phone away and I started engaging in conversation with this older gentleman. And, he started telling me a lot, like how he came to the States, how he had to bring his family over, how his daughter is growing up before his very own eyes. He just had so much that he wanted to offload. And at the end of that car ride, when I got to my final destination, to me it was nothing. It was small talk. I didn't think too much of it. But like when I got to my final destination and I opened the door to leave, he turned around and he shook my hand and he said, "Thank you. Thank you very much." And I said, "Okay, you're welcome. I should be thanking you. You dropped me off safely. 5 stars for you." And that was it, like we went our separate ways. I was home now. And later on in the evening, I replayed that entire scenario in my head. And I'm like, wow, there are a lot of people out there that just want to vent, that just want someone to give them 3 seconds of their time to just hear them out. Even if it's a complete stranger, there's a lot of people out there that are carrying so much in their minds, and it'll make a huge difference if you just heard them out and just not even say anything, just hear them out. I'm sure you've been in a situation before where you wanted someone to hear you out. In this case, he wanted someone to hear him out. But that's it. That is it. That is all. Have a great rest of your day. The weather is beautiful today. And catch up with you later if anything crosses my head. Bye.